today I'm going to be talking to you about what to do when you feel triggered by someone. So how to take this charge out of this negative trait. So let's say you've had a team member that's totally playing out. It's triggering you. They might feel like, or they might come across as lazy, not compliant, maybe not self-responsible enough, maybe not taking charge enough. They might just feel like they're not really getting it, they're not moving, they're not fast enough, they're not, just not like charged up and wanting to step into and go. And that's triggering you. You feel like you have to drag everyone by their hair literally forward and make them do stuff, or in the end take it all over yourself. And in the end you can't delegate, and then it feels annoying, and then you might be down on yourself because then you're stepping more into it again instead of scaling more and delegating more. So all the stuff that can come up, right? So let's just imagine this for a moment. And you can imagine this with anyone, like, a partner that you have had a trigger with, a child that's bugging you, a client, a friend. It does not matter at all. It could be also a politician or stuff that's happening in the world. So really, it does not matter who or what we take. But what we need to do is we need to see that our reality is our mirror. So whatever's happening in our reality all around us is like holding up a massive mirror for us. So what does that mean? No, it does not mean that if we deem them lazy and not responsible, that we are lazy and not responsible with the same tasks. No, it's not a direct mirror. It's often the opposite, or it is the way we are playing out towards ourselves. So it depends on, we can check, am I too lazy somewhere? Am I lazy maybe not with the folders over here, but maybe with the way I do my book work, keep my systems up, communicate with my team, whatever and whatnot. Yeah, so just letting yourself see is that direct mirror here of, am I being lazy because I'm triggered by their laziness? And lazy, they might not be lazy, they might just be frozen. But that aside, let's just use a straight up trigger, a charged trigger, and we say, if they're lazy, where am I lazy? If we really don't see that we are like that, but we might be the opposite, then we might totally disown laziness altogether and always do too much. We might be a workaholic, a never stopper, a relentless slave to the service. We might be an overgiver. Yeah, so really seeing how we are playing out potentially the opposite and completely disowning ever being lazy. And so that is the mirror here. It's the mirror of either direct or indirect. Then we can also see, if that doesn't really help us any further, we can also see if they are, for example, really, not stepping up, not doing enough. Where are we doing too much for others and then not enough towards our own being? And those that have journeyed the spiral with me, I often refer to the HHS, or have read my book, the HHS, the humongous self, our limitless version, our huge potential. Where are we letting our huge limitless version down by serving others too much, but not that purpose and our spirit and who we are? So we need to really see, and we can see how much juice there is in this, right? Holding up the mirror, seeing our reality as the mirror can teach us so much. So now what do we do with that? Yeah, so now we can see, okay, there is a mirror here. What is happening here? So I'd like to just quickly go into what happens in our body when we look at our value system. Because what often happens, our triggers are linked to our value system that's coming up. So everyone has a core set of values, and I don't refer to trustworthy, transparency, and so on, loyalty, all those sort of things that we get from the more, the Christian background or different backgrounds of religions and society. I don't mean that. I mean, what do we truly value? More according to the value test that Dr. DeMartini offers. You can check it out online. It's a free link. It's more like, where do you spend your time, or what do you spend most of your time and energy and space on? What do you devote yourself to, no matter if you have like sweeping with a broom, or whether you do the dishes, or whether you do work? Where is your mind constantly going? Where do you go when you're in the car driving, or in the shower, or lying in bed somewhere listening to music? Where do you go in your mind? What are you thinking of? Are you thinking of wealth? Are you thinking of how to serve more? Are you thinking of how do I invest? Are you thinking of cryptocurrency or writing a book or helping this person to break through to their next level? Are you thinking of the drama that your family is in and how you want to help them get out of it? What are you thinking of? That is all key aspects of yourself, and not to be dismissed. It's quite important to be really aware of what are our highest values? Where do we always go to? So that gives us then clues of our values, our highest values, and they equal our needs. But on that, a little bit in a different video. But right now, I just want you to be aware that we all have values, that we certain traits and aspects of humans, and we all have all of them, that we lift really high. We respect them, we look up to them. So it's like we put them on a pedestal. And then we have others that we put in the ditch. It's like this seesaw. So for example, we might really value highly people with a vision that make a massive impact. So we put them on a pedestal. Anyone that we know that does that, we want to hang out with them, we respect them, we admire them. We might infatuate them and see them only as one amazing thing and not see that they're still a human and that they have other traits. So we might put them up really high. But what we also do is those that we think or deem the opposite, like disconnected, narcissistic, selfish, you name it, we put them in the ditch. We don't want to have anything to do with those people. We can get quite fired up about them. Maybe internally, maybe in our mind, maybe in our being, or outward. Yeah, and there's a lot happening of that in society and on social media over the last many months in 2020, right? And possibly beyond, we'll see. So when we look at there's this charge going on. We want to hang out closely with those that represent our values, and we so want to push away who we don't value. And we often really see them as an identity rather than a trait. So when I say we, it's our subconscious brain. Our brain makes a story out of it. It often wants to see only one side. So sometimes we'll be able to compassionately see both sides. Some of us will be able to do this more than others. But there is always some people where we only see one side. It's like, you are so mean. And I could never imagine that you're really nice as well. Yeah, and we can just take in politicians here. We can use those archetypes of, like the evil Hitler, we can say Trump, or like all the people that we hold a strong charge towards and in society, right? But then also seeing, the healers, the saints, Jesus, Christ, whatever, like all the people that can put, onto the other side, Buddha, you name it. It doesn't matter what belief system we're really talking about here, but it's more like about really feeling into what do we vibe with really strongly, connection versus disconnection. Making an impact versus being selfish and only self-driven. Whatever it is, just really feeling into it. So when we become aware of these values and traits, what we do then is we become aware of this charge we're holding. And in the end, we need to remember that we are everything. So as a human, we hold all the traits, whether we like it or hate it. Does not matter, we are all of them. And if we don't live them all out right now, we have lived them out in the past. Some of these traits will live out 100% and others maybe 1%, but they all are there. No matter if they're suppressed or expressed, they are all present. And this is a real big key of this. So when we have a charge coming up in our reality, on the outside, this team member that might be lazy, we need to see that laziness is in this moment not something that we appreciate at all, because we might be always working too hard or always a lot, right? So therefore, we value working hard, being efficient, go a lot, and not laziness. Maybe also not taking a rest. So we push all that in the ditch, and so therefore if someone comes up in our reality and we push them away, we don't like what we see, we might be reminded of that part in ourselves that we're suppressing. We might be reminded of ourselves that we never take a moment out, that we don't ever put our legs up, that we're not relaxing, that we're not giving back to ourselves. So really seeing how this unfolds, can you see really how we might have a trigger coming up just because we don't actually value it? Because it's the opposite of our value ladder. It's the opposite end. The more you can see that and allow yourself to really look into that and feel into that, see your trigger. So that's I'll give you a few steps now to deal with this. So step 1 is allow yourself to name the trigger. So what is coming up? Are they lazy? Are they disconnected? Are they empathetic? Are they too helpful? Are they too good? Are they too bad? Whatever it is, let yourself name it. So name the trait. Then number 2, what is the pros and cons of that trait? So let yourself see, being connected can be amazing. It can be absolutely loving and kind and compassionate. On the flip side, if we're always connected and understanding and compassionate, we might be overgiving, we might have no boundaries, we might be not looking enough after ourselves. That depends on what's going on. So just letting yourself see both sides of the coin. Let yourself see both sides of the coin. So name the trait, let yourself see both sides of the coin. Number 3 will then be to really look into, where do I live this out in my life? Where do I show these positive sides and these negative sides in my own life? How do I show up with those? So that can take out a lot of the charge. If we can't get there fully and it's not dropping, and this is a long process too, like we can do this with the Dr. DeMartini method, which is a long, many hours process, but we can get there much faster. If we let ourselves see both aspects, we can already turn the volume down on the trigger a lot. It humbles ourselves, it humbles our ego. But then obviously to supercharge this, I would do the clearing. Definitely it's super fast, it's super clear. So if you want to learn self-clearing, comment below or PM me. But otherwise, really looking into how can I own this back? We want to clear the charge that we're holding in the body, but also we want to just really feel into it. You can go there all the way on the mind level and just, make lists of good positive traits, where does it show up in your own life, and then feeling how it slowly neutralizes. It's an amazing process, no matter if you go mind or really fast track it through the body and the subconscious. Either way, I'd say give it a go. Shadow work is amazing. This is called shadow work, by the way, and shadow work just literally means making the unconscious conscious. So we're working with values here, we're working with shadow, we're working with transformation here, and it's juicy work. So if you want to know more about this, comment below, ask all your questions or all your trouble with understanding this. I'd love to go more into this. I love this work, so can't wait to hear your questions and your shares, and see you in the next video. Bye for now, have an amazing day. Take care.